this damn thing. Look at these guys. Emma! Hey, welcome back, guys. Good to see you. I wish I could see you. I know you're there, and I can feel the energy, and I like it. Emma, this one's for you. Alright, so my first rodeo in Sweden was kind of cool. Side note, if I was ever going to leave my wonderful country, guess where I'm going? Take a wild guess. Yeah, Sweden. I'll be Swedish. I'm already kind of sweet. I think I'd fit right in. But hey, you guys got a kick-ass country, and I like that about y'all. And I appreciate you tuning in, Emma. Man, welcome aboard. Oh boy, we got a lot of good things to talk about, but I told you I had a story about Sweden, so here we go. It's not a real good story, but I mean, it's not a bad story. I don't know. You tell me. So we were flying out of I don't remember, Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East, and we hit Qatar. It's a little island that's like in between us and them. They got a big Air Force base there, and it's nice. They got a pool and stuff. It's considered tax-free. Like, you get tax-free money for being there. They got a pool, and you can drink beer, and nobody's shooting at you. Like, but okay, you know, tax-free. Combat pay. We actually got combat pay. It's like, yeah. But, you know, we would just go there for, you know, R&R. It wasn't really a deployment. It's not a real deployment. You know, the way that I think about deployments. So what had happened was we took off, and the problem was we couldn't really identify who we were. We couldn't be like, okay, we're the, you know, upper echelon, tip of the spear of the United States Navy, and we're basically can take this plane over. But, you know, we didn't do that. So there was always a cover story, you know, like we were just regular guys, you know. And it was neat because usually it worked out, except for this time, because we were supposed to fly out on a C-130 like 2 days before. Oh, jeez. Anyways, that didn't work out, but we had tactically loaded some things on that plane. And so me and a few of my friends really wanted to be on that plane because we were bringing some things home. Well, that didn't work out. So we got on another C-130 a couple days later, and we were taking some SF Army guys back to Ramstein, Germany, so that they could be, you know, taken care of medically. They were stabilized. So on a C-130, you've got a lot of seats, and you can actually, those seats, you can actually break out the combat casualty racks, and they're cots that hang. You can hang them like 3 tall, so you can sleep everybody. And sometimes, if you're not injured on a C-130, the really nice crews, like, they break out the combat casualty the carts, you know, and you can sleep. Well, this crew wasn't really cool. They did that for the injured guys, but they got diverted, and they were real pissed off about it, you know, because we were going to Ramstein, but they had a part that they were supposed to deliver to Sweden, and they thought that the best way to get there was to stop there first. The guys were stable. The injured SF guys were, I mean, they were good to go. They were eating and breathing and, you know, talking. I mean, they were jacked up, but they weren't going to die, you know. So it was an extra 24 hours, and so we got diverted, and we went to, whoever does logistics and military intelligence, never mind. That's another day. So we get to Sweden, and we got these injured SF guys, and we're kind of like, you know, what are you guys doing? You know, you want to get out? You want to stay in? they were all about recovery and healing and getting back in the fight. And we were like, hell yeah. Well, on the way in to Sweden, we got intercepted by 2 MiGs flying through Sweden airspace. Now, we didn't announce ourselves because, I mean, I guess we didn't get the memo that we needed to do that. America, you guys are awesome. Sweden, you're amazing. Seriously, if I was ever going to leave my country to find another place to live, I'm coming over. No shit. Like, I would go to you before the Philippines or Thailand or anywhere. Seriously. The Bahamas, I'll skip right over, you know? So, these 2 MiGs, like, they weren't just like, hey guys, how you doing? They flew up. I remember waking up because the the flight engineer got on the comms of the C-130. I mean, you're flying at however many feet. It's cold. It's loud. But when the comms comes on, you're like, oh shit, we need to listen. So I woke up and they were like, hey boys, look at these Swedish boys. And I looked out my window and there was a MiG with a bright fluorescent hunter's orange cone painted on the front of the aircraft. And he rolled up and he was like throttling, like back and forth, like he wanted to race us. And he was talking on the comms to the skipper. And now we actually had our skipper on board. He was a bad dude. And the skipper thought it'd be funny to put the microphone on the big voice on comms so we could all hear it. And some of us had headphones, we put headphones on, but there was an actual intercom system. I had headphones on, so I listened to the conversation, and the lead fighter pilot that was rolling in the MiG on the left side, the one that I saw, was obviously Johnny Bravo, you know, running the show. And he was like, you are in Swedish airspace and you will turn around right now or land so we can search your aircraft, or we will shoot you down. Like verbatim, that's what he said, but it was broken English. But I mean, I got the point. So skipper was like, that's a big negative, Ghost Rider. This is an American aircraft, and if you do anything to us, we're so used to being at war that it's not going to be a big deal for us to stop by your country for a minute. And the way he said it was like, you know, we're not coming over for a picnic. But I got a kick out of it because it really was like no fighting. Stop! Hey, they get carried away. I've got tasers in here. I don't have them for people. I have them for dogs. These guys are insane. Lay down. Don't look at me like that. Don't come over here. No. Get out. It's a good idea. Fucking assholes. But skipper was like, look, anything that you do right now, you're pissing me off and it's an act of war, and all I got to do is make a phone call and like, we'll make half your country hotter than, you know, the sun. And the way he said it, I don't even remember what exactly he said. I blocked it out like a bad childhood memory because it was like, oh shit. Like, I'm not a fly boy, man. I'm not. I do my shit underwater and like on the land. So this was kind of, I felt a little vulnerable. But skipper gave me like a little peace and quiet. And then the MiGs that were rolling, I could look out both windows and they were flying nose to nose next to the C-130. Now the other thing that I shouldn't fail to mention is we had a part for the Swedish Air Force. Not one time did skipper mention we're bringing you parts. He did not. He skipped that beat. We also had 62 tons of live ordnance still in the crate. Like, if they would have cooked off a round and shot us with a missile, I mean, it would have been 4th of July. Like, it would have left a mark. It would have made a sound, you know. It would have been beautiful, I'm sure. Pink mist and fireworks and, you know. Pretty much, you know, ashes to ashes. So, anyways, these MiGs, I remember after skipper said that, I was like, here it is, the moment of truth. And I looked out my window and I'm looking at the pilot. And I swear we made eye contact. And he was like, the universal sign of, I'm not going to hurt you. And I look out the other window and both those pilots simultaneously peeled off. And when they did it, I was watching mine on the left side of the aircraft, otherwise known as, I don't know, starboard. And he was trying to say something without saying it, because he cooked off that afterburner in that MiG, and when he peeled off, he was gone so fast. It was such instant relief. Like, so we touched down in Sweden, and we get to this airport, and it's like really kind of like being in America, you know, and I felt real comfortable. But my chiefs and my master chiefs and the commander was like, "You boys, shut the fuck up." Excuse my French. But I'm quoting somebody, so it's okay. But he actually told us to, you know, lock it up. And he was like, "You go to your rooms, you're not allowed out in town." And I felt like a real bad dog, you know, like a misbehaving, you know, varmint. And I mean, we all followed the rules. No, I don't think any of us went out. I didn't go out. So we went to sleep, you know. It was a long day. And I got up in the morning, and we went back to the airport, and we were eating breakfast. And we were going through like a cafeteria line. And, you know, I got a plate full of really breakfast food. And at the end of the line, they had these, it was a pedestal, a big one on the bottom, medium one above it, a little smaller on top, and it was like a cascading plateau of chocolate candy. They were tinfoil wrapped chocolate candy, and one of them was wrapped to look like a pear. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna have dessert with breakfast. I've never done that. And so I ate my breakfast, and we're getting ready to get on the plane, and I take a bite of my pear, you know, my dessert, and it's full of whiskey. And I was like, I didn't see it coming, but yeah, you know, it's like breakfast whiskey with chocolate. And then I was like, okay, when in Rome, and I, you know, finished it. So that's my first rodeo in Sweden. You guys are killing it. I love you. Fuck, I'd like to come over and visit, man, and maybe bring home a wife or something. What's up, girl? Love you, minute. Stay tuned. Stay salty. I told you I'd tell a story. It wasn't it may not have been a good one, but it happened. So yeah, we'll see you. Love you, minute. Stay salty, especially if you're traveling across the sea. There's plenty of salt.